I feel like lately I've been so bored with everything else to where it's like I've truly gotten to a point where like I'll just sit and be in my thoughts and kind of just ignore everything else for a little while. And it's crazy because like we're in an insane political climate. We're in an insane economic climate. Gas price is crazy, bro. I remember I had to pay $73 to get my tank filled from like about 3/4 of the way, to get it filled. $73, bro. Yeah, I was about ready to smack somebody that day, but I kept it cool. Obviously, I wasn't gonna actually smack somebody, but the only thing I just been able to do is like pray, just like and be thorough, like with your prayers, like not just praying for myself and the world and my family and like giving time to actually honor God. Where like for having you in a position where you haven't been. Like, not only is it a position that you haven't been, but it could be worse. That's why lately, in like the last video, was like working on not complaining at all. Like, there's nothing to complain about. And on top of that, like, just trying to stick with that mentality of gratitude. So that way, things do become and feel easier as you are learning, transitioning, as you are growing. Cause y'all was right. I had so many family members. No, I had a family member in particular. She would tell us all the time, growing up and being grown is ghetto. And then everyone else started repeating it. And this is crazy. Mind you, got people who either was handed an entire life to them, like covered everything. And then you also got people who, when they got in to like owning a home or like getting into like truly building wealth or creating a lifestyle that you truly desire, the price of the dollar was a lot cheaper. Sorry, the price of the dollar was a lot higher. It could have more value behind it. It had more perceived value too. Now nobody like really messing with it. Everything's so expensive. I'm glad that I'm just able to have things to be grateful for. It's a blessing to be able to say that I have, and it's also a blessing to say goodbye. To being able to let things go. It's just as much as a gift to have as it is to give. Anyways, that's not even what I was going to talk about today. Um, Let me get back into it. So long story short, I've been having this issue with executing on my ideas. Like, one thing I want to do is start enunciating. I want to be more present with my voice. My vocal presence has to be there. People see me, they notice me, they can recognize that I can do a good job, but they don't hear enough from me. And I feel like that's one thing I'm trying to develop, which is why I'm trying to push more for really what I'm doing now. It's like the grind to be more vocal, be more sociable. So I've been making that a habit. It's just like putting my voice out there more and not just like the voice that I want people to hear. That's like super business and like the corporate level voice, but just like my voice. Like I want to be heard for me. Like I want people to understand me as well. So just making sure that I put that voice out there. Another thing I've been having a problem with executing in general is just like getting up and going, like that initial activation is really just activating. Like, it's just a problem with getting activated sometimes, but I'm working on it. Sometimes I can get distracted. I don't know if I got ADHD, but I could. But creating systems, I need to create a system where I can go from one thing to the next without getting too much distracted by other thoughts that are in my brain, or other activities, or other hobbies when I need to stick to a plan, or not even or. That's just what I need to do. So yeah, just a little confessional. That's what that was. Good, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. We feeling blessed today, bro. Like, we feeling good. It's not much to complain about. Really just been taking our time with our thoughts, trying to actually analyze what we're thinking about, disassociate from the ones or the thoughts that are not conducive to what we want to internalize. And lately it's been rougher than usual because thoughts come to mind, and even if you don't necessarily internalize it or allow it to be something to internalize, it still has to sit there for some form of processing. You can, again, remove that thought, push it to the back, let it go, ignore it, or you try and see where it came from, do some research into what is actually the root of that thought. I feel like that process alone is what creates hesitation. And hesitation, though it can be a tool, without proper boundaries or barometers for the hesitation in itself, you can lead to what is called procrastination. And that's what I want to talk about today. Not just procrastination as a whole, but execution. Who cares if you're behind? Literally, who cares? It doesn't matter what you want to put after that statement. If you feel like you're behind, so what? That's the thought for today. I feel like in life, you get given so many different challenges as well as opportunities to develop yourself, to build your character, to build your foundation, to even extend different parts of your gifts and talents, or even of your life in itself. And just as well as you have as many opportunities that can also lead to taking away from all of those things. It's like a tree. Trees, they have a root, they have the stump. Then as it goes up, where its leaves are, where the branches are, it just starts to split off one way or another. And a lot of decisions are like that, and that's life. One of the things that I feel like hinder execution or following through with making decisions, overthinking the entire process, hesitating to even just take the initial step to get into the door, or the step to act. Hesitation / activation is what we'll call it. And then procrastination, which really, that could be a system in itself that just literally leads to faulty execution. It's all one process. If you start with overthinking, or if you start overthinking and you find yourself overthinking, highly likely it's a sign that you're dealing with some kind of stress or discomfort within the situation that is being presented in your own brain, which is highly likely a sign that you're going to be triggered to enter a state of possible fight or flight or anxiety, which could either swing you into some kind of manic or depressed or even just panic state. You can't recognize that all the time in the moment, because shoot, I don't even recognize it every single time in the moment. I'll be thinking about the situation itself, but that is usually what's happening with the brain. Or, case in point, say you're someone who just wants to be more sociable. You want to have more conversations and want to be more comfortable with speaking and learning and using your voice, but you have a hard time with communicating, saying things how you would like for them to be perceived, so that way you don't have to deal with any confusion or frustration. You practice using your words very well. So sometimes going into social situations, that are new have been known to provide some kind of discomfort or just weird vibes in general, it's usually going to lead to you having like a panic attack, dude. So even when you start to think about being more sociable or going out, you start having this trigger effect of like, oh, starting to not feel interested in doing it or taking the steps to be more sociable or social. Like you won't even really step foot out the crib or go out because every time you think about doing it, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that you practice to use your words very well. Sometimes that effort isn't always acknowledged. Not only that, but sometimes that effort isn't always understood. People don't like communicating at the same level or quality. So sometimes it just creates like that discomfort of just even taking the action or the initial action of, I'm going to put my voice out there. I'm not just going to put myself out there. I'm going to put my voice out there. I'm going to be heard. I'm going to be remembered for what I said. Not what I looked like, not what I did, but for what I said. So again, that's one way overthinking in one scenario where overthinking for me has caused a lack of execution on a plan to simply get out and do more, or simply just not follow through with something that I said that I was going to do. Again, the goal is for everything across the board to be in alignment. A more fulfilling, more enjoyable life. Things have to be in alignment, not just with what you want, but with what God also wants for you as well. Because that's where it all comes from at the end of the day. But first is overthinking. Second is hesitation. We're getting to second base, guys. Keep up. If you haven't liked the video yet, like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. It's a lot of y'all that watch the videos that don't be subscribed. Yes, I can see the percentages on my stats. So make sure you click the subscribe button. Building genuine connections with people who actually want to see you succeed, live life in a way that you also see life. That's what we're building here. That's the brand. Genuine connection. But number 2, hesitation. First we had overthinking and how that simply just creates a little roadblock. Overthinking is literally putting up a wall. It isn't even like, no, I'll take that back. It's not even like putting up a wall. Overthinking is like that one meme that everybody sees where the guy was digging and then there's like a bunch of diamonds, but like he stops digging and starts walking away instead of just kept on digging because he was right there. That's how it is. Overthinking gives you the opportunity to still put in work, still give effort. Like you still have the ability to give effort there to actually follow through and execute. So don't think that overthinking is like the end all be all. When I start overthinking, I'm never going to follow through. No, that's like also your trigger warning to say, hey, I'm going to take action now. Like as soon as you start overthinking, just, okay, I'm just going to do it. Forget it. I'm going to start. Because the sooner I start, the less I'm thinking about if I'm doing it and if I'm doing it right and all the other things that come with overthinking. It's just about, okay, in this moment, what am I doing to make sure that this is quality? Or what am I doing in this moment to make sure that what I was being asked to perform or service or deliver is actually good? So if you start overthinking, don't panic. Take a deep breath. Say out loud what it is that you know that you are stressed about or that you are worried about doing or acting on or executing on, and then start doing it. Don't think about anything else. Just take action. Even if it is starting off very small with something. Like it's a lot easier for you to probably order DoorDash instead of cooking a meal. It might be a lot easier for you to order off DoorDash or to use your rewards at a restaurant just to eat for the night because you don't feel like cooking. But instead of thinking about like, oh, I wish I could have this, or I don't feel like cooking today, like I could just go do this. Like instead of having those thoughts, or when you recognize that you're having those thoughts, just set up a plan. If you can't in that moment take action, no, just start taking action with things like that. Set up your plan for what you're gonna do for when it's time to cook. Don't think about the other things that you could do to avoid it, because there's no avoiding the situation. You're going to either, if the goal for you is to stop door dashing food, or to stop ordering food and using fast food to eat like daily, and to cook more of your meals, eat more whole foods, stuff like that, then you would need to set up a system. Taking action can look like doing the small things, or the things that don't even make sense or might not help, but it does help. Like if your goal is to stop door dashing food, to save money, or to lose weight, or simply because you want to learn how to cook, or you want to eat better in general. Like if your goal is to stop door dashing food, if you're at work and you're already thinking about how you don't want to cook, then set up a plan right then and there. Because first you have to recognize like, oh, I'm already overthinking doing this. Like I'm already in the space where I'm like, I don't want to do this. And you're not even there. You're not even there yet. Like it's not even time for you to do that, but you're already thinking about how you're literally overthinking it. So like in that moment when you recognize that, start writing down like a plan, or even writing out the ingredients that you know you're gonna need, so you can just have that list ready, or one by one, pull it out, boom, boom, boom. You can take action like that when it's time. But in that moment, doing the things that might feel boring or feel like they won't help at all, or might not provide much value in that moment, it's going to further align you with what your actual goal was. So it's going to push you in that direction, which is better than having that mindset, which isn't taking you anywhere, of just constantly ruminating in the thought of, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. If anything, it creates resentment from actually having that execution and follow through to just do what the goal was. And in that case, it was to cook food and not DoorDash. Another example of why overthinking is a barrier. It's a you versus you battle. It starts there. If you can't beat the you versus you battle immediately, or at least find some way to control it, or at least point it in a direction that is conducive to the life that you're trying to create, it's just going to get harder to rewrite the wiring and the pathways in your brain, keep you in alignment with what you're actually trying to reach. Number two, hesitation. We'll stick with the DoorDash situation. Say you didn't, in that moment when you had those thoughts, you hesitated and you didn't write a list, you didn't do anything to help you figure out what to cook, or you didn't write that list of ingredients, or you didn't even go on TikTok and just start saving recipes of the things that you know that you have in the crib. That's what I be doing sometimes. Fun fact, if I be thinking like, oh, I could just go buy this, that, and the third, and I'd rather just eat this, or I don't feel like cooking, or I start craving a bunch of crazy food, I'll just go on TikTok and I'll literally type in the ingredients that I have, and then there's gonna be a bunch of recipes that pop up. And I'm sure you can do that with Google, and I'm sure you can do that with literally any other social media platform. They all use similar search engines to Google. Like all the search engines are pretty much the same, but just take the ingredients and the seasonings that you have, type them in, and then I'm sure it'll give you a list of recipes. But in that moment, if you did not take an action, even as small as writing down different things you could do, or searching for the recipes, if you didn't take a small action in that moment when you recognized your overthinking, or before your overthinking goes too far, it creates hesitation, which then becomes a physical barrier where you don't actually feel like you should move. Like if you didn't do anything at that time and you spent all your time ruminating in that thought of how you just didn't want to cook after you got off work, okay, by the time you get home and all you did just was have that thought like, dang, I didn't want to cook, you're likely gonna start to avoid cooking as a whole. Like you're not gonna be thinking about like, what can I cook? What can I cook? you'll be thinking about how not only do I not want to cook, but now I don't want to do this either. I don't feel like doing the laundry too much, or I only feel like doing I only feel like doing laundry, or I only feel like folding these clothes, or I only feel like vacuuming the floor, or I don't feel like cleaning up the table. I don't feel like going through my mail, like all that stuff. Like if you don't take action and you don't in that moment and you start overthinking or letting your overthinking ruminate too much in your brain, eventually it's going to create a bunch of hesitation because you just don't want to do that action, which creates a domino effect of you not wanting to do a bunch of other things, which usually leads to you making a decision like going back to order DoorDash because it's easier, it's quicker, and then you can just move on to the next thing that you feel like you need to do. Or I say feel like you need to do, but in reality, it's things that we get to do. But you have the things that you feel like you need to do. Um, so you'll go back to ordering DoorDash and you'll honestly regret it because the goal was to cook more. And then not only was the goal to cook more, but it was to literally stop ordering DoorDash for whatever reason, whether it was saving money, losing weight, whatever. Then that just becomes a cycle of hesitation or overthinking to hesitation to repeated behavior that you were trying to change. And it just goes over and over and over. And it's basically a negative reinforcement because you're just realigning yourself in a way where your response is going back to ordering DoorDash instead of just eating whole foods and cooking your dinners at home. Because, I mean, you want to cook, you want to save money in this example. Um, so yeah, that is one way how overthinking can lead to hesitation and how that creates, again, a cycle of negative reinforcement on a behavior that you're trying to change. The last one was procrastination. Procrastination is just that same cycle being repeated over and over again while also having the awareness of like, okay, the buck can stop here as soon as I choose to just start cooking my meals more, or everything that I'm feeling would just stop if I just chose to start actually going to the gym or chose to actually do one active activity per day. And that's pretty much where procrastination leads. You have your you have your overthinking, which led to your hesitation. The hesitation, repeated hesitation again over either the same thing or a number of things in a fairly recent succession. This is going to lead to that overall. Like, not only am I hesitating to do it, but now I'm just thinking about how can I not do it right now? How can I just put that off to the side and just keep on going about my business? I'm gonna just try and ignore this for a little while. I'm not really trying to do that because I know that it's already giving me or making me feel some type of way on the inside of my brain. I'm already super hesitant to do it because it feels like I'm starting something new or it's stressing me out because I feel like I've been down this road before and I've just been trying to change, but it's not working. Like, that's where the procrastination comes in. After you reach a breaking point of too many hesitations, now you're at the point where you had the answers. You knew what to do. You had the equation, but you just didn't solve it. Matter of fact, you skipped that question on purpose and knowing that you was gonna have to go back to it, but still didn't go back to do it before you turned the test in. You held the ball too long. You was hitting them with all the moves. You know you gotta give the ball up. but you still got the ball in your hand. Me, I've definitely been in that same cycle where some days I genuinely just be like, I don't feel like cooking. I'll be having days where I'll be like, I don't feel like recording. I don't feel like doing a YouTube video. I don't feel like creating reels to post. Also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram because I'll be posting reels fairly consistently. We going on 8 weeks strong. So follow me on Instagram, Jonathan K. Jordan. Link in the bio. I definitely have gotten to a point where sometimes I do procrastinate putting a video out. Shoot, I'll be honest, I've been procrastinating going back to hoop for a minute because I haven't found a place where I'm truly gonna be comfortable hooping. But again, like, why does that matter? Again, going back to what I was saying before, who cares? My goal was to go hoop, so go hoop. That's it. Same with going to the gym. If you hesitate in going to the gym, your plan ain't to be in there and look like the next gym influencer that's going to be making like you're not your first thought ain't never gonna be like, it's really just to get your foot in the door. Like, your thought is not to be like the next brand ambassador for Crunch Fitness. Like, that's not the goal. The goal is to get yourself in shape to where you are loving how you look and you are confident in your body. Your goal is to drink more water. It's not that hard. Just be conscious to make sure you drink your water and then keep your water near you. If you recognize yourself overthinking, take action immediately. Action counters thinking. That's why doers get more done than thinkers or planners. Just to go do. Like, you will learn as you go. The questions will come to you because you're already in the action and in the act of doing or trying to complete whatever it is you were trying to execute in the first place. So do. That way, the things that you need to actually execute on, those questions will come to mind so that we can stay fully tapped into not only providing good quality work, but also delivering and meeting the goals of whoever else is involved in the situation. Like, yes, you can go do other things around you that might make you feel fulfilled, but at the end of the day, if you know that there's one thing that you know you have to complete or you know you want to work on, make sure that you're doing something in that area or to solve that problem or to reach that goal. Whatever it is, make sure you're doing something to drive the discipline forward. It only takes one small win. It doesn't have to be something major. If your goal is to learn how to edit better videos, take a small video and edit it up yourself before you go to sleep. If the goal is to work out more or to be more active, start off by making sure you can get at least 5,000 steps in per day. After that, you start increasing it. Don't just set one goal and then stop. You keep setting goals further. Stretch your bandwidth, elasticity. Make yourself grow. Make yourself be able to be more abundant. You want to be more social. You want to be able to talk to more people. Put yourself in different conversations. Don't walk away from conversations. Allow yourself to be heard. Add input where there is value. Listen and observe, so that way you can learn exactly what it is you need to learn. But also, give yourself a chance. Be gracious with yourself. It's okay to fail while trying, but at least you're taking action. The last thing you should be doing is failing because of thinking. It's like in baseball. If you struck out and you were swinging at a good strike, then great. Understood. But if you striking out looking at a good strike, not good. If the goal is to be more communicative, more affectionate, more appreciative of your partner, it does not always have to be a grand gesture. It can be a handwritten note. It could be you using your voice. and saying the exact things that you know needs to be heard. If you messed up, you want to make amends with people. Tell them what you was thinking and that you were wrong. Let them know that you are apologizing sincerely. And the biggest thing and the last thing is that those three actions can literally lead to resentment. Those three processes of overthinking, then hesitation, then procrastination, it just creates resentment. And it's the same way with conversations too. You want to have a conversation with somebody. If you overthink too long, you hesitated on actually saying it. After you hesitated for so long, you just kind of start pushing it aside. After you push it aside, you get to a point where you're just like, I don't want to do it no more. You have to avoid resentment. Resentment is kind of like hate. You think it's going to help you in the beginning, but it doesn't. It just ends up hurting you on the inside first. Plus, you just don't want to live in a place of resentment with anybody. Or with anything, rather. At least I don't. I want to live in peace. Like, I don't have to like you, but but I don't want to have to resent you either. Like, I don't have to hate you, and I don't have to resent you, or I don't have to hate it or resent it. I can have a respect for its existence, but with that respect can be my distance with it. You can give things this respectful distance, like, oh, cool. Just push it aside. Especially if that's your initial thoughts on it, essentially. But the things that you do desire and that you do want, the changes that are actually on your heart, you have to take action. And if you notice anything that's similar with all four of the things that I mentioned in this video, which was, again, to know if you're looking to make sure that you can execute on something, you want to take if you want to execute, you want to be more thorough, you want to achieve your goals, and you want to avoid failure or the feeling of being behind and not having like actually executed, or being someone who follows through with their word, you have to avoid overthinking. You have to avoid hesitation. You have to avoid procrastination. And you have to avoid resentment. And all those things can be countered with action. And by action, I mean anything that is related to and that is conducive to the growth or the progression of reaching said goal or execution of that goal or action.